Connecting with somebody emotionally is probably one of the most underrated skills right now out there. Between the internet, AI, political division, your points of view, we're getting so much separation that it's hindering our ability to connect with people one-on-one and connect with them emotionally. If you're going through your week and going through your days and every interaction you have leaves you more and more drained, it's because you're not connecting with somebody emotionally and you're not connecting them on a level that actually energizes you and fills you up. I'm not saying you have to have every small interaction one that does that, but I promise you, if you start having 2 or 3 of these interactions a day, or even in a week, you'll feel a lot less stress, less anxiety. This helps with burnout, and overall your own happiness level will increase, and you'll build trust with that person, which is so valuable, and we need more than ever before. This is a skill that took me years to develop. Even though sometimes it feels natural and people have told me that it seems natural to me, it took me years to develop when I was in the fitness industry. Not only that, I've spent a ton of time recently in the past 3 to 4 years developing this skill. And now I want to share it with you because I've seen how much impact it's had on my life and on the people that I'm reaching out to and connecting with. During this process, it should take about 15 minutes to be able to do this. And it's not a set of hard skills as it is more principles that take time that you have to practice. I'm hoping that makes sense to you. And so we're going to dive right into it. First step is whenever you are interacting with somebody and you want to connect with them emotionally, you need to start with your intentions. Start with your intentions because people can sniff out bad intentions or intentions that don't line up with theirs very easily and quickly. Some people like to use the word energy. That makes a lot of sense to me as well. If your energy is off or you're in a pissed off mood or you're frustrated, people can feel that. I'll give you an example. If you've ever stepped in a room right after 2 people were fighting, you can feel the tension in the room. You can feel it on your skin. That is your body being aware of the tension going on. That's that energy. You can feel that energy. The same is true with sexual energy. If you have a sexual chemistry or any kind of romantic chemistry with somebody, you can feel that tension in the room. You can feel it between you two. The same goes with your intentions. If your intentions to connect with somebody are ill intent, or to take advantage of them, or to use them in any sort of way, people will feel that. Anybody half in tune with their body and half in tune with what's going around will feel that, and this process won't work. So if that is your goal, you should shut off the video right now and go somewhere else. But if your intentions are to truly connect with somebody and to truly help them, if you're in a business position or if you're in a sales position, or if you are in a position where you're just trying to build friendships or romantic relationships, if you truly want to connect with somebody, this will work. So it starts with your number one intention. What are your intentions with this interaction? Second is your body language. This one came at a surprise to me initially, but the more I practiced it, the more I realized how powerful it was. If I went into interactions, meeting new people, and I was defeated because something else was going on in my life, and I had my shoulders down, my head down, instantly I was not building trust. People would look at that and feel that I was down, going back to the intention and energy, and see it. Even if they couldn't verbalize it, they could feel it, and they could understand that something was off. The best way to start with this is just your body language, and starting off with being upright, being tall, being available. The next key is to show your palms. Something as simple as waving at something. Something as simple as putting out your hand to shake their hand or to fist bump or whatever it is you're going to do. Show your palms first. It's a very general and wired condition that when we see somebody's palms, we feel safe. I'll give you an extreme other example. As if I was going to come to you and I was doing this, you wouldn't think friend, you wouldn't think trust this person, you'd think I need to freeze, run, or fight. So showing palms is a very easy way to do that. And the third step in that body language is to match and mirror. Some of the best psychologists in the world do this, where all they do when their clients come in is match and mirror. They look at their body language and match it as close as they can. Now, this isn't every time they scratch their nose, you scratch your nose, or every time they shrug, you shrug. No, it's if they are in a state where they are stressed out, you match it, or you get similar to it, is what I like to say. Be similar, so that way you, or rather they, can feel that you are on their side. So matching and mirroring. If somebody is really engaged in a conversation and they're leaning forward, lean in a bit too. If they are pulled back and withdrawn in this, if you mirror that a bit in some fashion, it'll start to build trust and start to help them see that you're on the same page as them, or you're trying to get on the same page as them. Not only can you mirror and match with your body language, but you can do it with your voice and your tone, and even words that you're using. With mirroring and matching, I'm not saying be fake. I'm not saying be somebody you're not. What I'm saying is that if you've noticed somebody in a relationship that you're trying to build with a friend is talking about how awesome, and they keep saying the word awesome, how awesome they find some sport, and you use the word awesome too, the brain automatically connects the two and says, hey, this person gets me. We get each other. Now we can connect, especially if you feel the same way. The third step. This is probably the most underrated of all the 5 steps, and in our society is lacking so much. And to be honest, if you just did step 3 and no other steps in this process, you would connect with people, and people would feel connected with you, and they'd feel trust between you two, and that you understood them. And that is to be present. Our presence is the most valuable gift we can give anybody in any personal interaction. If you were dating somebody and every time you talk to them and you guys were on a dinner date, let's say, and he, she, doesn't matter who it is, pulled out their phone and started scrolling during your conversation, they would not be engaged. You would not be interested in them. They are not present. However, if this person was leaned in, even if it was a bad match, but they were leaned in and they were fully focused on you, you're going to feel liked and appreciated and connect with them. Because again, time is our most valuable resource. So when you give somebody your true time and your presence in that moment, you will connect with them and they will feel understood and heard. So my suggestion is to put away the phone, mute it completely, put it in your pocket, your purse, leave it if you can. Don't have it touching your body. Keep it away from you. Be present. I can't understate how valuable that is. I've made some amazing connections with people just from being present. They've told me time and time again, wow, thank you so much for listening. And all I did was just be present. I didn't even ask any good questions. I was just listening to them. And that's the other part of that, is when you're present, you're listening. Step 4 is to be curious. If you are curious about somebody and asking them questions about their lives, they're going to feel a connection with you. They're going to feel like you understand them, you actually care about them. And it comes to when you're being curious, you're genuinely curious, genuine curiosity, not just asking a question to ask a question, because I've done that. I've gone through that role play in sales, in trying to find a relationship. It never works. People feel that you're rushing through it. General curiosity is so powerful. You would be surprised at how much people will tell you about their lives when you are just curious, when you just ask about them, when you just dive into those conversations, when you ask them about their favorite football team or why they like driving that car, and then ask them those questions. Ask them those questions that get past the surface, going to the deeper stuff. going to the more personal things. Being curious is so underutilized. And everybody that I've ever encountered that have made connections with, most people, their favorite topic is themselves. Most people's favorite topic when they talk is themselves or whatever's going on in their life. It's just what I've noticed. So if you talk and ask somebody questions about their lives, they will open up and tell you a whole lot. And they will leave that interaction feeling like you understand them and that you guys connected emotionally and build trust between you two. The fifth one is, of all of them, will have the greatest impact when done correctly. But you have to do it in that process and have those other 4 before you go into this. Because if you don't, it comes off as insensitive or just inappropriate. And that is sharing personal stories. I don't just mean, oh yeah, I went across the street and did this thing, or I went and watched a movie yesterday. Sharing personal, intimate stories. Sharing personal struggles specifically will help you connect with anybody more than any other of the previous topics that we went over. This is probably the most powerful and takes the most vulnerability, and that's why most people don't do it. Most people don't want to talk about how they used to struggle with addictions or porn or alcohol, or even something as simple as learning how to drive a car, or the industry that they're in, or building a business. They don't want to talk about that stuff because it leaves you vulnerable. But when you are vulnerable like that, you're inviting the other person to be vulnerable as well. You're opening up that segue and saying, come in, let's talk about this stuff that most people don't want to talk about. When you share personal stories and personal struggles, you build connection very quickly. You build trust very quickly. My suggestion is to not start big, because if you start big, it can scare people. However, if you're in tuned and present, you will be able to feel that situation out and understand when is a good time. So my suggestion is, at the beginning, sharing a small personal struggle. It can be very shallow and simple, but it opens up that channel for vulnerability and lets the other person know that it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to be vulnerable with me. Look, I have problems too. A good example is that if you are late for a business meeting and you show up, hey guys, thanks for meeting me, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, sorry I'm late. I'm really struggling lately with navigating traffic in this town. I just can't seem to wrap my head around when's a good time to leave and how long it takes to get places. You're showing a little bit of vulnerability. Yes, it's surface level, but you're showing that little bit of vulnerability to open up the conversation for more vulnerability. 9 times out of 10, they will tell you something else that they've been struggling with lately. And right there, you build that connection. It's, you've been struggling with this? Yes, I've been struggling with this. Now we have that bit of a connection there. And now we can go into other topics so much easier. Starting with a small story and connection and something you're struggling with will help build that quickly. And as you get the conversation going, sharing big struggles or big hurdles and challenges in your life will open it up for them to do the same. I've done this recently, actually this past weekend, with 2 separate people that I just met and really had a conversation with for 15 minutes. And I shared my personal struggles of being in bad relationships and feeling like I didn't know what I was doing in a relationship and wanting to absolutely get out of it, and going through some of the trauma I went through, going through the bullying that I went through growing up, going through the work that I've done, and the vulnerability, and sharing that vulnerability. And as soon as I did that, it was like the floodgates just opened up, and instantly that person wanted to tell me all of their struggles. And I didn't ask. I didn't say, tell me all this. They just wanted to because of that connection, because they knew it was a safe place and it was building trust. So why is this important? Again, to recap, when you build these strong emotional connections, you have a huge list of benefits. A huge list of benefits. After those couple of conversations I had this weekend, my stress went way down. I was feeling actually pretty tired because I had bad sleep the night before, and I woke up in the morning with my eyes swollen. But after that, I felt energized and alive. I felt so fired up and excited because this person shared this deep connection with me. I'm not saying all conversations will have that, but when you really connect with somebody, and if you're listening, you know the conversations I'm talking about where you both feel good and feel excited about it. When you do that, you feel more energized, you feel more alive, you feel less stress, less burnout, you feel more happiness, and you build trust with that person. And if you are trying to build a business is all about building trust. Every business I've ever helped build, it's about building trust in the small little ways. So if you're trying to make sales, build trust with somebody as much as possible with the intentions just to help them. If you're trying to build your tribe, if you're trying to build friends, make connections, that trust will go a long way, because now you'll have people that'll be there for you and you can be there for them, and that feels good and fills your soul. If you're in a romantic relationship, it will go miles if you're building that connection with whoever it is. If you share those personal struggles, and this I used to struggle with a ton in the past in romantic relationships, so I didn't want to share those things because it came across as weakness. It felt to me like I was being vulnerable, and they're going to think I'm stupid, dumb, an idiot, whatever, all those negative things that go on in my head. But the more I started doing it, I realized it actually gave me a lot of strength, because now in my own head, I've just shared that story in a weird way that can be used against me. And more importantly, that person looked at me as stronger, as more resilient, as strong enough to share those hurts, those struggles, the pain, the embarrassing moments that I've been through. So when you build these connections, your life will start to change, and the people around you, you'll notice two things. One, you'll want to start connecting more with them, or start separating with them because you don't align, and you realize that there are people that are not helping you make big changes or just live the life that you want to live and feel the way that you want to feel. So if you found this episode valuable and this talk valuable, please share it with somebody, because one of the greatest things you can do is share wisdom and share information, especially if you found it helpful, with somebody. If you haven't yet, please subscribe, because that always helps to grow. If there's a topic that you want me to discuss and want to share and learn about, please reach out, because I would love to cover that topic and love to be able to help you move through whatever it is you're going through. And last, I am looking to take on 2 to 3 clients to help move through any struggles, whether it's with confidence or just emotional strength, and any changes that they need to go through during that process. Because as we know, when we're making changes or we're wanting to make changes, those emotions start riling up and they get crazy, and we can get all sorts of weird thoughts going in our head. So my goal is to help you move through those very easily, but doing the work that'll last. My schedule is pretty tight, so because I have a very full life that I love, so I'm only willing to take on a couple clients, 2 to 3 clients at the most. So if you are interested, please reach out to www.lifepurposey.ca for a connection call, and I'd love to connect with you. So again, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you listening to this, and I will catch you on the next episode. Bye for now.